Dun, 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 dun. Welcome back.
Hello and welcome. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Welcome to another exciting episode of
The Friday Four.
The Friday Four, yes. We've settled on a name for this kind of video, The Friday Four. It's a...
Four things we want to talk to you about.
Yeah, and it's basically to give you information for the community, information about the business, some deep dives into emails mostly about some more complex questions that need a little bit more explanation.
Mm-hmm.
We'll cover other things here and there. You'll notice we're missing something and we got something new. The big giant planter of bamboo was really in the way. I couldn't do this. Now I can't.
Tony.
Oh. Anyways. Let's get back on topic. That happened like 5 minutes ago. The same exact thing. Good.
Oh, do I have to move again?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, what just...
You need to let me through so I can get my email. What happened? Okay, today, what are we talking about, Kara? We're going to have you do something this time.
The Friday Four topics are Black Friday deals. What are they?
Today. The sale's already started now.
Yes.
So
yes.
Get to the website and check it
going
out.
On right now. And at the end of our week, we are going to take a 10%, off of all the orders that we made, and we are going to donate that to a cause called Revive Our Oceans. Very, very good cause. Up next, what to expect when you order from Phillips Fishworks. Number 3, how our leaf cultures are packaged for shipping, because that's changed and there might be some questions. Then we're going to do a deep dive into some emails, feeding strategies for your Daphnia, and mysterious Scud disappearances. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I about dove right into that.
I know,
one.
right? And we're not doing that. We're diving into the Black Friday deals. BF 2025 is your code. You absolutely have to put that in at checkout. BF 2025
is the promo code.
If it's the promo code, if you want to take advantage of the deal.
Okay, so here's how the Black Friday thing works. So in the last 2 years, we did a Black Friday free giveaway, we call it. So most items on the website will have a percentage off. Some of those will be like 5% off. Some will be like 35% off. So it just depends what the item is. But we wanted to offer a sale pretty much across the board.
Yes.
In addition to that, when you order anything at all, you're going to get a free item. In the past, it was like Scud balls and then dry leaves. Well, this year you have an option. So there are a number of things selected like micro worms, vinegar eels, green water culture, the starter culture, a couple other things, and they will be noted like a banner across the top of the item. But you can select one of those, and if one of those items is in the shopping cart, and you put in the promo code BF 2025 for Black Friday 2025, BF 2025, it will make one of those items 100% discount or free. So if you put multiple items from that list in there, only one of them is going to be free. So you can buy, and these are just the regular items. You can find them on the Black Friday deal page. From homepage, you can click on the Black Friday deal page. Or if you select one of those items from their usual page, like if I'm in the green water machine kit area and I see the green water culture there, and if you add it from there, it's the same product. So these are just our regular products, but there are a number of them that you can get for free. So that's how that works. Again, if you don't enter the code, you won't get it for free. Please enter it. Also, the Revive Our Oceans, that's an organization. They're somewhat of a new organization, and you can check out more information on them at reviveuroceans.org. But they are big into, what do they do, Kara?
They protect the coastal communities and marine life. They're working to protect areas that have been affected by destructive fishing practices.
Yes. Yeah. So like,
pretty good cause.
Depending on how the fish are caught, but there is like drag netting, or where they literally have this giant net that's hundreds of feet wide and they drag it along the ocean floor, and there's a lot of bycatch. So they're targeting a certain fish that we're eating, but then they're also catching sharks and all these other, sometimes even like orca whales or different things. So they're catching these animals they don't intend to catch, and they're literally, they're dying in the process, and then they're throwing them overboard. And also, as they drag this net along the seafloor, it's devastating reef areas and a whole lot of other areas. So this organization, which is called Revive Our Oceans, you can check them out at reviveuroceans.org. They are working with all kinds of other groups. They're also trying to stop or protect certain areas from that type of fishing. So, I don't want to go into too much more detail about them specifically, but 10% of starting Monday already till Sunday, so this last 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, including the beginning part of the week as well, 10% of whatever is purchased from all of our customers, we're going to make a donation to that organization. And that's just a way to say thank you to you guys as well, and thank you to this organization. So every year, this is the first year we're implementing that, but every Black Friday or at different sale times in the year, we'll pick kind of a cause and then give some money towards that, because we've been blessed with lots of orders and lots of money coming in from you gracious customers. We would like to pass some of that on to some other people doing some really, really good things out there.
Yes.
So
Perfect.
I think that's about it on the Black Friday stuff.
Yeah.
Should be pretty clear on the website on how that coupon or the promo code works, but it's BF 2025 or Black Friday 2025.
Now let's talk about what to expect when you order from us. Our shipping takes place Monday through Wednesday on a typical week. But if you order, let's say like midday on a Wednesday, likely we're going to hold your order till the following Monday, just because, we've already gotten the process kind of going.
So yes, we ship Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And there is a kind of a handling time associated. So if you place an order with us, we're going to do our best to get it to you, to get it out the door as soon as possible. If you select 2-day shipping or 1-day shipping, that is the transit time. So it's going to be in transit for 2 days or 1 day. It doesn't mean if you place an order on a Wednesday and it's 2-day shipping, you're going to get it Friday. If we've already got a stack of, 75 orders going out that day and you place your order Wednesday afternoon, it's not always feasible for us to tack that on. Now, in certain situations, if it's been a slower time of year and you order a culture of Daphnia or something like that, and we can add that in pretty quickly, we will. But as we get into the busy season, which is starting now, and especially during this Black Friday sale, come Monday morning, we're going to have quite a stack of orders. Now, we're going to try to get all those out this week coming up, so there's no real long delay. But there is a handling time associated with your order.
Depending on the time of year, which right now, obviously, we're into our heat pack season. But we wanted to let you know that both heat packs and cool packs are included in that shipping price that we give you. So again, the comfortability of the creatures, that's our biggest priority.
Right.
We want to make sure everything arrives to you, good for both you and the creature.
Yeah, well, and we don't really want to, I've had people want to say, well, I don't want insulation. I don't want a heat pack. I just want to, they'll probably be fine. They're snails, they're scuds, they're, these are very hardy creatures. They'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Well, if you buy from us, you don't really, sorry, but you don't have the option to go with that risk. When you buy from us, we're going to use an insulated box. Maybe that's overkill in some situations. I don't think so. So you're going to get an insulated box of some kind. Now we are transitioning
with that.
We're transitioning from these Why does that sound so weird? We're transitioning from one type of insulated boxes to a temporary kind of middle thing while we're waiting on quotes in a new type. And that sounds a little strange, but if you order just 1 to 3 items, it's probably going to come in a box inside of another box, and there's going to be heat packs inside of there. And that way, everything is made of cardboard or paper in the box packaging anyways. And that is so you can either recycle it properly or bury it in your backyard or burn it or whatever you need to do with it is fine. But it's not going to be more plastic going into the environment.
Yes.
Now we still have some of larger boxes, and our jar boxes are the recyclable PET plastic. So it is an eco-friendly option, but we're trying to get away from that completely, but we still have a couple thousand of those boxes left. So those will be, and most of our orders go out in the smaller boxes. So we'll probably have some of these big boxes for a while, and we have so many in stock. So the shipping price includes your shipping cost of the actual shipping label, the box, the eco-friendly box that's insulated, and a heat or cool pack. So you're going to get that with your order.
Yep.
After you place your order, you're going to get a confirmation email. Now, a confirmation email goes to the email you used when you placed your order. So if you put the wrong email in there, you're not going to get an email. I can't tell you, I mean, it's every week, and again, I'm not complaining here at all, but there's every week there's a good handful of people who email me saying they never got a confirmation. Then I look up their order and they had wrong email or they misspelled it or something, and that's fine.
So guilty.
Yeah, it's
for
fine.
The autofill.
Autofill, right? Autofills into something.
It's such a good thing, but it ruins me.
Yeah. So don't be like Kara.
Don't be like Kara.
Don't let autofill ruin your life.
Yes.
But if you don't get a confirmation to your email, it's not likely that our automated system screwed up. It really never happens. It's always like you mistyped the email and you left off a letter on the end or something. It's just, it happens every week a half a dozen times. And also, when you're placing your order, auto-filled addresses are constantly screwed up. And if you have a apartment number or a suite number, we need that apartment number or we can't ship it to you. And we've had boxes returned because they didn't have the apartment number on there, and our new shipping software won't even let us create the label without that apartment number. It's very smart. It knows it's supposed to have an apartment number. So please include that, because usually we find out about that towards the end of the day while we're doing the labels. And we usually have only a short time to fix that, to still get it out that day. Otherwise, it's going out the following day or the following week. It goes onto the problem pile, unfortunately.
But we email you.
We'll email you or call
try
you.
to call.
But
if you see a weird 937 number, that might be us.
Right. So, but if we can get the correct addresses in, sometimes if you pay with PayPal, you've got an old address on file with your PayPal. Sometimes that kind of gets sucked into there and you don't notice it right away. That's a very common thing that happens. So these are things that just help the process. If we can get on there and print out our labels and do everything without running into any issues, it just helps it get out the door faster, helps your box get out the door faster, because when there's a hiccup in the middle of our busy shipping time, a lot of time that just gets removed from the pile at the moment and set aside, and we'll repackage it the next day. We don't just leave it in the box. We take it out, we open it all up, put it back. But it won't go out that day, probably.
Correct.
Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And also, so you get your confirmation email when you place your order. Assuming you gave us the right email address. And the next email you get is the evening it ships. So we're putting the orders together, and let's say it's Wednesday or Tuesday, your order's going out. You will get that email probably that evening. We are processing our orders for the labels probably around 5 or 6 Eastern Standard Time. As we actually process your specific order, when we print that out, and there's a button we hit send, and it actually sends you the email with some confirmation. Again, it's sending it to the email address you gave us. So if you gave us the wrong email address, it's not. So if you don't get an order confirmation and you don't get a tracking number, That doesn't mean your thing isn't still in process, because we're still going to receive your order. We're still going to fill it. We're still going to send it out.
Yep.
But if you're not getting those emails, it's because we don't have your correct email address.
Yep. And then any questions regarding specific orders, please send those to support@phillipsfishworks.com. Support@phillipsfishworks.com. If there are any issues with your order, all other emails we want to go to info@phillipsfishworks.com. Both come to us. Both are looked at. Both come to Kara. Both get run.
Why do we have two separate
Tony.
ones? Why do we have two separate emails?
Because we want to keep support is for people who are placing orders with us. We want to make sure if you've got DOAs, dead on arrival, if you've got any issues, hey, you missed something, hey, I feel like I got the wrong product, whatever, we want to hear from you because we can't fix a problem that we don't even know about.
And if your box shows up and everything's dead, that was not how it was supposed to show up.
No.
So if you just go, oh, well, this sucks.
I guess I'm out that money.
I guess I'm not going to buy from him anymore.
No.
But you don't tell us. If you tell us and you say, hey, here's my order. Look how it showed up. This is a problem. No problem. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Next Monday, you get another order resent to you.
Yeah.
It is a, they are guaranteed to show up alive. So, there's a lot of things that can happen once you receive it because, you've got your whole water and your thing going on. But we want it to show up to you live because if it shows up dead, that's a pretty rough start.
Right.
And again, yes, like she said, the support line is for orders. If you've actually placed an order, that's what we want you to support at phillipsfishworks.com.
Yeah.
If you've just got a question about something else, like yada, 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 put that on the info at phillipsfishworks.com.
Yeah.
If it's not related to an order you've placed, we're probably not going to answer it on the support line because we want to keep that clear for the people, for where it actually applies.
Next, let's talk about how our leaf culture kits are packaged for shipping. What's different? Has it changed?
Yes, it's changed,
okay.
But it's been changed a long time. We just haven't. I mean, a lot of months. So if you're a recent customer, you've already seen the change. You just don't know that it used to be different. Mm-hmm. Our bag of bugs, leafy bugs, and bag of leaves come in 2 bags now. 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. Got it right this time. 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. The creature pack, and that's where actually all the little scuds and Daphnia and the little snails are swimming around. And then the other bag is the leaf portion, which has, if it's bag of bugs, for example, it's going to be a bag of mixed leaves with the 2 seed pods, and that is got no water in it. I mean, it's moist. It's been taken out of our system, put into the bag wet, and we try to get all the air out of it. And we'll put a little water in there too. But it's designed, a lot of times those little seed pods and some of those leaves and little sticks, they would actually poke the bag and it would be a big leaking mess. So we package that separately from the creature pack. And also too, it just separates it to where you can see, oh, okay, it's not a DOA. I can see the scuds, I can see the Daphnia in there. Mm-hmm. Everything's alive. Looks great. So it's pretty self-explanatory. The bag's labeled 1 of 2, 2 of 2. Bag of bugs, leafy bugs, bag of leaves, whatever it is you got. So they just come separated for the shipping purposes. It really keeps problems from happening, allows you to see everything that's alive in there. Now the scud balls are still going to be packaged in 1 bag, and also the scud-free leafy bugs come in 1 bag. We may change that in the future, but maybe not.
We'll see where the wind blows.
We will see where the tide goes. That kind of
how the cookie crumbles.
Well, the tide was related to water.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
It wasn't like I was just saying something different to say a different way to say it.
That's the way. I get it. Right.
Now, man, we're buzzing right through this. There's no way we're at like. Any other news before we go into the email deep dives? Anything else we want to talk about you can think of?
Like more bamboo?
Oh,
There's another bamboo here.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
That wasn't here the other day.
It's losing leaves.
This is about to go through the emergency growth phase, if you remember from last week.
Yes. This just showed up today. That's why it's even. This is how it was shipped. You know, it was in a box though. But I wanted it in the shot.
Obsessed. Tony's obsessed.
I know someone doesn't care. Not everyone cares about the bamboo. No, I know you.
I did not.
I know you deeply care. But I know there's some people out there that are like, dude, really? Are we going to talk about bamboo again? Yes, we are. This is brand new. Just came in the mail today. I just put some water on it. That's all I've done to it.
We'll try to feature a new plant sitting on our little table here.
The thing in the back, the planter was so huge. It really just was. It was pushing me too close to Kara, and it really felt like I was the center.
Big planter. Yeah,
and then that was over here, and now it's a little more equal.
Can they see the pothos? Is the pothos in the shot?
We got pothos too.
We got pothos on both sides.
This is just the end of, and you've seen this before, but what are you doing? This is eventually there will be a door here, and that's going to go out to a greenhouse.
Yeah.
That's hopefully going to be fall is when we start. It's fall now. Wow, we're going into winter. Hopefully before spring, there's a greenhouse there because I would like to not be starting this to be like a spring summer project. I'm hoping it's like a winter project, winter outdoor construction project.
We'll see how it goes.
But yeah, no, we just I'm collecting a few different species. I've learned a lot about them. I've even had some people email me about them. Thank you very much. I mean, not very many people, and the emails were more like, I don't know anything about bamboo, but if you could,
that's okay.
If
you could help me with my Scud question, that'd be great.
Okay. I get the point. We'll move right on. Yikes. She said it so you guys don't have to. Yeah, no,
Are we ready to deep dive into some emails, Tony?
Yes, we're ready.
You got your snorkel on?
That was my... I don't know. What's a bubble? Yes, the snorkel's on. Go. I'm diving. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to.
Okay. Because you just did.
All right. Now we're going to do a deep dive into emails and pretend like we haven't, screwed this up like 8 times already.
It's okay. It's all good.
I'm going to read it, though. Hey, Tony. This is from Joe, by the way. Hey, Tony, my question is around trying to culture Daphnia in a green water culture. All right, I know something about that. I had 2 green water cultures going and added Daphnia to both. They survived but didn't multiply. So I put Daphnia back in a 5-gallon tank and just add green water at times to supplement their regular food from Flip. This has been multiplying. They have been multiplying again. Let me know if you have any other inputs or thoughts. Joe. Okay, so at this point, you're having success with adding green water to a 5-gallon Daphnia culture. I think that's the way to go at this point in my experimentation personally, and what we are kind of onto now, which has changed back and forth many times. I have taken and made a green water culture and then added Daphnia Moina to that directly and had really great success. But sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes they survive in there, but 2-3 weeks later, there's no new ones. And at that point, there should be gazillions. So what's happening? I think a lot of it has to do with if you've got a really mature green water culture and that algae in there is just super dense, or there could be, it's a lot of nutrients. It's a lot of nutrients, a lot of food. I think that's too much for the Daphnia to really thrive and survive. I think the pH in there could be way off. It could be very acidic. It could be, there's no real microbiome like bacteria established for the, nitrogen cycle, most likely. That's not really happening in there. So you could have some high ammonia issues depending on the fertilizer or how much you used. Maybe you've got some fertilizer in there that might, in a high dose, could affect your Daphnia. So I would say the best thing to do is have your tank that Daphnia are in. And here's how I would set up a Daphnia culture now. Maybe a 10 or 20 gallon tank would be great. 5 gallons can work awesome too. Even a gallon can work too, but it's just a small space. And with population growing so quickly, it's very possible or likely that as that population gets huge, it's just going to be too much for that environment. It's going to collapse. The water quality is going to go downhill very quickly. So, what we're going to do is set up a 10 or 20 gallon tank. It would be great if you had a little basket of crushed coral in there, something to help keep the alkalinity up, something to help keep that hardness up a little bit as all of your creatures are growing and dying, or your algae's way up. That can become acidic very quickly. Having that little basket of crushed coral in there will help that. People use all kinds of other things besides crushed coral, like cuttlebone, crushed eggshells, different things like that. I have not experimented with those, but it's certainly worth messing around with if that's what you want to do. So he's saying when he put it into the green water culture directly, they survived, but they didn't thrive, or they didn't multiply. So I have seen that before, and he's having luck with having them in a separate container and growing them that way. So again, a little crushed coral, you could fill it up. Let's say you have a 10 gallon tank or a 20 gallon tank, fill it up a quarter of the way with water, maybe another quarter of the way with green water if you have that much. And that would be a pretty, dense green water still. And then you just leave the rest of the tank opened up. So there's nothing else in the tank. And then you put your culture in there. They're eating up all the green water. They're multiplying. Then you still have room because the tank wasn't full all the way. You can add more green water to feed it. And then that tank level is going to rise and rise. If your culture starts out at the very top, it's going to be hard to add green water to it without it overflowing or having to take some out right away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that answers the question. At this point, I'm very much growing green water separate from the Daphnia culture completely. We're using the green water as food, not the container they're actually growing in. You can grow them in just regular tank water and then supplement their feeding with the green water. And people will also use yeast, like powdered yeast or powdered algae you buy from like Amazon or something, like chlorella powder or spirulina powder, mixing that with water. That's okay. And it can actually get them through, especially in a pinch. But that green water, and I've gotten this feedback so many times, that once they finally really got the green water going, that's when they started really having success with their Daphnia and their Moina. Okay, I think
Thank you,
that
Tony.
pretty much clears that up.
That was such a good one.
Glenn has an interesting problem, and just right off the bat, I don't have a for sure answer on this.
I feel like we need a magnifying glass.
Yes,
I
because
feel like we're about to investigate.
This problem he's having is a problem I've seen before, and it's something I really like. It's time to take a deep dive into for real and maybe try to figure it out, because this is a problem other people have had. And it is all about basically my scuds just slowly die out. Yeah. So here's what happens. We have sent out at this point, I don't know, like almost 7,000 orders, and most of them contain scuds.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot of them are, now there are people who order just, Daphnia or the green water or something like that. There's a lot of that, or just the worms. But a lot of our cultures contain scuds, and a lot of people are very interested in culturing scuds for live food, and just because they're fun to watch, amazing little survivors and amazing little creatures. But so one of three things happen here. Most of them get their scuds, they've prepared the environment, and everything goes great. They live, they multiply like crazy. That's a very common thing that happens. But sometimes they either die immediately, like overnight. Like, I got them, everything was fine, and they were alive, and I put them in the aquarium, and the next day, everything was gone. That's one thing that sometimes happens. And then the other thing is, I got them, I put them in the aquarium, and everything was great. And then a week later, everything was great. And then it just seemed like slowly over time, they didn't die all overnight, but like a month or two later, there was nothing. Like, where'd all the
they
scuds go? So, what is happening here? That's the real question. Like, what would cause something like that to happen? Well, the dying overnight thing. Okay, and let me back up a little bit more. If this aquarium has been set up a while and there's already been like fish or shrimp or other creatures in there swimming around and surviving a long time, that's it's probably not dying overnight. Like, that's not. These are usually newer tanks that have been set up maybe a short period of time, but not always. And sometimes fish or snails can survive for a long period of time and even reproduce and do really well. And the scuds is just, no matter how many scuds I put in there, or cherry shrimp even, and kind of, I think this is a similar problem too. I put the cherry shrimp in there and they just die. They all are gone. A month later, no more shrimp. Where did they go? What's happening to them? And they weren't eaten by fish or anything like that. They're just dying out. And it has to be something in the water. It has to be something we can't test for. And that's kind of where I've been coming to. And I actually have a situation at home in my basement in a tank that I'll dive into here in a minute. But, he's started up several different aquariums, and the same thing keeps happening over and over again. And even in these aquariums, or a couple of them, the snails have been reproducing like crazy. There's plenty of snails in there. So it's not like an outright, the water's poison and everything's dead. But, the scuds, they show up, they're alive, they're in the bag, they're swimming around, and I've, put 50, or maybe I bought the 200 pack, I put that in there, and they're just everywhere, and everything looks good. And it wasn't that they all died overnight in this particular case, but they're just gone. So if they're dying overnight and it's not an established tank that's been around that other things are living in for a while, right off the bat, there could be some really high ammonia source. A lot of times you set up a tank and you're going the natural route and you put leaf litter, and maybe you went down to your local pond or creek or wherever you get your wet leaves from, if that's something you're doing, and you put a ton of leaves in there, or you go out in your backyard and you get some leaves and you boil them or not, it doesn't matter, but you put them and you've got like a good 2 inches of leaf litter in this tank, a 10-gallon tank with like this much leaf litter in the bottom. That's too much. And that's going to create a very toxic environment very quickly, and you're going to put your scuds in there and they're going to swim around for a minute, and then overnight they're going to die. So too many botanicals all at once, too much, too fast, you know what happens? They die. They die, Rachel.
It was Rachel that said that.
Oh, well, I was trying to do a friend's quote, but I screwed it up. Anyways, too much, too fast, all at once can be a problem.
Yes.
So if the whole bottom substrate is solid leaves, that's 2 inches thick, that's too many leaves, especially all at once. Now, maybe you can put some in and work your way up to that, but if you just start that way, that's usually going to be a bad thing. Another thing that's happening, and it's going to sound, I'm going to give you not a direct answer, because this problem is one of a million culprits, I think, or one of a million things is causing this problem. And there's a lot we don't know. And a lot of times customers will say, I've tested my water and my water's perfect. My water parameters are perfect. Well, if you use that freshwater master kit and you've tested your 4 chemicals that you're testing for, your pH, your ammonia, your nitrites, your nitrates, if you tested that and those are all in acceptable ranges, then your water's not necessarily perfect at all. That just means that those 4 parameters are in some kind of zone that we're saying is acceptable for life or acceptable for these aquatic creatures. Where's your copper? Where's your lead? Where's your mercury? Where's all these heavy metals that are in all of our water? Where's all of these other chemical contaminants that we simply aren't testing for? We can't easily test for? Where are those levels at? Right. And what kind of effects are those heavy metals having on the crustaceans? What kind of pipes do you have in your house? What's happening? What kind of chemicals or contaminants are leaching out of the rocks that you put in there? What kind of chemicals are leaching out of the wood you put in there? You pick up some stick from the backyard, nothing wrong with that, except maybe there's something wrong with it. You just have to be careful. I don't want to scare anyone from putting anything in their aquarium that they, it's not about being afraid or paranoid about, oh, I'm collecting from the wild. I'm saying, let's say you had some car parked in a yard and it was dripping oil into the yard and that area is contaminated and you don't know that, and that stick was getting dripped on and now there's oil seeped into the pores of that log or stick or something, and then you put it in your aquarium and that leaches out. Is that going to cause any problems for your little ones? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a lot of paranoia or overbearing? Maybe, maybe not. Like, you just be surprised at what kind of contaminants are out there. The soil you're putting in your bottom of your aquarium. If I want to be this natural fish guy and I want to do all the things the natural fish tank people are doing, I might put some dirt underneath the sand. Well, what is the soil? Where'd you get it from? Is it out of a bag? Is there anything wrong with getting this soil out of a bag? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, let's say you go to your local store and you buy a bag of garden potting mix or garden soil. What is it actually made of? Where did that company source those materials? If it's a big giant company and they need to put together, 500,000 bags of soil a year that they're going to sell, where are they sourcing their material from? It's not carefully curated material put together by a person.
Right.
It's dump trucks full of this and dump trucks full of that. And it's probably a lot of wood coming from the paper industry and all that, construction equipment moving around all this different material, leaking fluids onto your wood that then gets turned into mulch, that then goes into the compost bin, that then gets turned into your bag of dirt. Like, way down the line, it is possible that there are contaminants from the manufacturing process of that bag of dirt. Now, again, this is all, I'm being a little extreme, yes, but at the same time, you put that soil that may or may not be contaminated into your fish tank and everything's fine for a period of time. Then all of a sudden, chemicals or who knows what is leaching out of that soil into your aquarium. And now all of a sudden you're having problems and you get out your test kit and everything tested fine, but your test kit isn't testing for chemical X that's leaking into your tank. And again, I know that's making it sound like, to be concerned, I don't know. It's a fine line. I'm not trying to create paranoia, but maybe you should get your soil from your own backyard or someplace out in the woods somewhere that is reasonably safe, that isn't going to be contaminated. If you go out in the woods and you're familiar with the woods or something and that there aren't people dumping their trash or chemicals out there, but again, you just would be surprised. What is happened in the last 200 years in your local area. You don't actually know. And if it was dumped 200 years ago, is it still a problem? Probably not. But when we're investigating random problems that we can't figure out, there's something in your water. If there wasn't, it would be fine.
Right.
If the water was good, they wouldn't be dying out. It's just what is actually causing it. There is something that you can't see, because if you could see it, you would go, oh, it's that. Right. I had a can of motor oil sitting on top of my tank and it fell over and it dumped in there and everything died. Oh, it was the motor oil. Okay? But that didn't happen. Okay, so we're going to keep going on this, and it's going to be kind of maybe sound like a lot of repeating. So if you're one of those that don't like that, because they do comment sometimes,
exit now.
Exit now or click off. At my house, I have a 20-gallon tank, and it's got a bunch of Vallisneria in it, a ton of that, and it has this big giant chunk of coral rock in it, right in the middle. I've had white cloud mountain minnows. They did great in there for a good while. Snails have always done really good in there for a while. And it developed in the middle this huge like ball of filamentous algae. Like the whole tank was covered in this filamentous algae. And I thought this would make a very good video series on, hey, I've got this tank, and the tank had no scuds in it either. It had a bunch of snails, had the fish. I took the fish out, and I was going to make a video of, hey, watch how fast like 3,000 scuds can eat a big, ball of algae. So I literally took like a couple thousand scuds from here at the shop. I took them to my house, put them in the tank, and they were swimming around there fine. Like they were crazy. They were all over the algae. They were eating this filamentous algae. They didn't eat any of the other plants. I was keeping my eye on it because my thought was it would be a good teaching video, and I had filmed part of it of this series because when I introduced them, and I can throw that up now. But I dumped in the scuds. They were in there. They ate all the algae. But then all of a sudden, I just noticed that they really kind of disappeared. It wasn't all at once. I'm sure if you looked in there, you could find a couple now. But we're talking, I introduced a couple thousand into that environment on 2 separate occasions, and there's nothing in there now. There's no population of scuds going. The snails, they're fine. They have little babies. They do fine. There were a couple random cherry shrimp in there on and off. But again, they never took off. Even there was just no reproduction of those, which was very surprising. Like, what is happening? And I'm like, this is a problem. There has to be something in this aquarium that is a problem. So it is a dirted tank. There's here's what's in the tank: dirt, pool filter sand, some chunky gravel, and a big chunk of coral. So what possibly is the problem? Well, it's either something leaching out of the river gravel. So I bought some river gravel from a bag at Lowe's. So it's either some problem with that, or maybe this big chunk of coral, which I bought way back when from a, it's like a local, it was like a local fish store, and they sold a bunch of like live rock, saltwater aquarium stuff. Mm-hmm. And this rock at one point and at many points has been in and out of a lot of saltwater fish tanks. In my possession, my saltwater fish tanks, and even before I got it, it was in a lot of other saltwater fish tanks. So you might be thinking, oh, is he going the salt route? No, I'm not concerned about the salt. It's soaked out. It's been in a lot of freshwater tanks. It wasn't a salt issue, but maybe it was in a saltwater fish tank a long time ago, and maybe the saltwater fish tank was treated with some kind of fish medication that had a lot of copper in it, and that has gotten into, you got a big chunk of coral, they're very porous, medication or some kind of contaminant is deep inside of that coral, and that just slowly leaches out. So, maybe it's not a problem right off the bat, but as time goes on, something is leaching out of that big chunk of coral, like some old medication that was used, or I don't know what, but that's the mystery. Mysterious scuds disappearing. And it has to be something in the water. It has to be something in the water, or it could be something missing from the water, some kind of mineralization, some kind of mineral. When we do like a GH and KH hardness test, what are we actually testing for? General hardness? If it's testing for like magnesium and calcium, if one's really high, your magnesium's really high, or your calcium's really high, your test might read at a 15 general hardness, which is great, but what's actually making it hard? What specific minerals at what specific levels are we actually reading? And is something really gone and bottomed out, and we're just really high in one mineral, and that's making the test read good, but we're actually missing some very vital minerals over here? Or maybe it's got crazy high zinc, or maybe, there's all these different metals and minerals that are in our water that we don't really know how to test for. So what's the answer? Well, you could buy bottled water. You could buy like some bottled spring water or distilled water or osmosis water, and then remineralize the distilled water or the RO water. You could get some, if you've got like a really nice pond or creek and everything's really doing well and it's not a contaminated water source, you could try that for a while and see if that helped. You could also send your water to a lab and have it like professionally tested. and there are different options online, and I'm actually in the middle of looking for that myself because I want to do some more in-depth testing on our own water supply here. We've also got a well on the property we're hopefully going to start using soon, and we're going to get some water tested there. So I want to know not just what the API Master Freshwater Aquarium Test Kit says, because that's not really telling us much. It's telling us some important things, especially if we're new or especially if we're having some problems. Everything died. Well, the ammonia was sky high. Okay, that's a problem.
Right.
But again, where's your copper? Where's your zinc? Where's your lead? You think that stuff's not in your water? Well, get it tested and you'll find out it very much is in your water. And if those are at certain levels, is that causing problems? So not really a clear-cut answer. That's just kind of me laying out some ideas and some things I'm going to start really looking into. And also, so what we do here, we're using the City of Dayton tap water, which you can go to your municipality online and you can actually look at their water reports, and they can kind of give you a rundown of what's in your water, and you might be shocked. You ever looked at that, Kara?
No.
I have. There's a lot of acceptable things and acceptable ranges in our water that we're drinking if you're drinking tap water. So what we do with our water here is we run our water, tap water comes in, it hits a pre-filter, which just filters out any large chunks of rust usually, which over a course of 3 months, that filter goes from white to orange, which is basically catching metal, and then that metal is rusting, so it turns orange. So it goes in through a pre-filter, and then it goes through a couple of carbon filters, and that carbon is taking out the chlorine, chloramines, and some of these other contaminants. I would love to send in a water, send into a real laboratory that's going to give me some real, information about what's in the water before and after the filter to see, are we actually removing what we think we're removing? I know it says what it's going to remove, but are we actually doing that? Also, once we get our well online, we're going to want to make sure that water's good there. And is that necessary for you at home? Not at all. Especially if you're not having a trouble. But if you're having trouble, maybe that's an option. I don't even know the prices. We haven't really dove into that yet. But if you out there have experienced this, if you've sent your aquarium water or any water into an actual laboratory to have it tested to get some kind of detail analysis, email me at info@phillipsfishworks.com. Let me know where you sent it to. Let me know your experience. I would love to know. Maybe you're a chemist or a scientist or a biologist, and you know a lot more, and you can tell that I don't know anything really when it comes to like these detailed water analysis. Right. Like I'm Joe Tony, or Joe, I was going to say Joe Nobody, but I'm Tony and I'm doing my thing here. And I am not a biologist by trade, and I'm not a scientist. I'm just trying to do my best at learning how to raise these little live fish foods and these little creatures, and have some natural systems. But it would be great to get some testing done to know, hey, maybe this problem is because your zinc's way high, or your this is way high, or hey, were you aware of the amount of lead in your water? Where's that coming from? Oh, Glenn, I'm sorry if I just probably made more questions than answers, but I really appreciate your email. And if you've got some questions, feel free to send them to me, and I might read them if I think it's going to help someone else. And yeah.
Info@phillipsfishworks.com.
Info@phillipsfishworks.com. If you've placed an order and you have a question about a specific order, or you have a problem, email support@phillipsfishworks.com. I know we've said it a few times, and we're excited to keep doing this. Did we explain the Friday 4 thing, like right in the beginning?
At the beginning we did. Yeah.
Yeah, so tune in next week for what's it called? The Friday 4? Is that?
Yeah, the Friday 4.
The Friday 4.
The
so
4 things you need to know.
The 4 things you need to know. So it's just kind of 4 topics.
Yeah.
And it's Black Friday now. Anything else you want to close out? Where do we go if they want to learn more about us?
phillipsfishworks.com.
Right.
Or our YouTube channel.
Right. And what's happening right now at phillipsfishworks.com on Black Friday in the next 2 days after today? The sale.
Yeah, the sale.
Yeah.
It's happening right now, Tony.
This is what I said.
Today's the day.
And tomorrow and the next day.
And tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate your support, all your love. We love doing this.
And we love bamboo
And we
too.
love bamboo.
Every time I touch it, stuff falls on me. So it did just come in a box today. So, you know, maybe it doesn't appreciate being handled so roughly. All right. Bye.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.